TikTok has very much become a way for the young generation to express ourselves in every way. You can be yourself. You're at home, you're filming, and there's always going to be like millions of people watching you. I like this one, you can see. You never know when you could blow up.
I think every young kid's dream is to be successful online.
The Chinese social media platform TikTok has changed the internet. It's become the most popular app in the world.
There's fishing videos, there's cooking, comedic skits, singing, dancing, literally everything you can think of, TikTok have.
It's not an app on their phone anymore. It's their livelihood. It's how they communicate with their friends. It's how they see the world. That's a part that I don't think everybody has adjusted to yet.
We're really at risk of having generations of young people that have formed identities in response to something that a technology platform prescribes to be the new normal.
Behind the shiny dance videos, the platform is leading people down dangerous paths.
I'd like to think that I wouldn't have struggled with an eating disorder if I hadn't downloaded TikTok.
My claim with TikTok is that they are harvesting huge amounts of data illegally without the consent of children or their parents.
If you just look at TikTok in isolation, it seems innocuous, but it really takes place in this much larger context of data collection, artificial intelligence, and a real effort by the Chinese to consolidate influence in the region and across the globe.
Tonight on Four Corners, TikTok. In a joint investigation with Hack on Triple J, we're going down the rabbit hole to reveal the dark side of the app, how the platform censors political content and harvests children's data, and how the app's powerful algorithm exposes people to misinformation and dangerous content.
Hi, my name is Rory Eliza. And what?
And what do you do?
I am a full-time TikToker. So in the morning, I'll wake up maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'll check my phone, check if my videos have done well, or, you know, how my followers are reacting to the content that I've just posted. TikTok, honestly, I get so much love on there. It's so weird because that's my biggest platform is TikTok with 5 million followers. It's crazy to think that 5 million people, that's people. It's not just a number. And if you really think about it, it's 5 million people that have tapped that follow button. They're all just so friendly and they're kind of like your family. It's just weird. Like, you don't know these people, but they know so much about you that they treat you like a family member. On that note, welcome to the new Rory Eliza.
Rory Eliza is one of millions of young Australians recording virtually every moment of their lives to get famous on TikTok.
Get ready with me for a date. Yo, I chose an outfit, let's go. Transition, yeah! So I think every young kid's dream is to, you know, be successful online. So I think there's definitely a group where they all want to be influencers because it's kind of like the in thing now. And I think that's because of TikTok.
TikTok has been downloaded more than 3 billion times around the world. It's become a cultural phenomenon.
You know, I'm 21 and just learned how to do my own laundry.
Some tomatoes and some cheese.
Dude, no. You gotta go like, oh, okay.
Everything is about going viral. A dance started by someone in their living room and uploaded to TikTok can turn into a stadium full of people performing it in unison.
I like how creative you can be on it. Like, it's just so fun to go on that app and just express your real self.
Rory started posting comedic skits on TikTok and her following snowballed.
No No worries, I'll scan that one right through for you right now.
This was her first viral video. It got nearly 14 million views.
How about some Peking duck? Oh yeah, but we actually don't have the Peking duck, but we've got the sneaking goose. What an odd name. It is pretty normal for a book.
In 2019, Rory decided to leave school to become a full-time TikToker.
Wait, is this a library? School was just one of those things I just was not good at. I decided to leave school when I was in year 11, and I was never there, you know. I was always in Sydney doing meetings or presentations for TikTok, and I just wasn't there. And when I would come to school, I would have no idea what we're doing because, you know, I've been away for heaps of days. No worries at all. Thanks for coming to our library.
School, you can go back and do it at TAFE, you can go back any time and do it if you need it, but you may never get this opportunity again, so we just thought it was worth leaving school and pursuing all the business opportunities while they were there for her.
No worries at all. Thanks for coming to our library.
How do you feel about the fact that 5 million people are watching her content?
Oh, it's incredible. It's even when she goes live, there was a time she went live and she had 22,000 people watching her in her room, and my mind goes back to Elton John concert here, and she had more people watching her than we had at that Elton John concert, and it kind of, wow, that's happening in my daughter's bedroom at the moment. It was a bit, different.
Hey, baby! Big fashion and cosmetic brands started noticing Rory's success on TikTok and wanted to tap into her growing audience. Companies sponsor influencers like Rory, and businesses pay TikTok to advertise on the platform. This is central to the app's lucrative business model.
In this work industry, being an influencer, you have to present yourself as a brand. You know, we aren't really people anymore, we're a brand, we're selling products for a brand, so you kind of got to look apart. The money involved, it's enough to live off, so it's a pretty fair amount. I'm about in the medium to high range of incomes in Australia, so yeah, pretty decent.
Well, it's hard not to even be jealous sometimes, because you look at our life and, you know, we get up and we go to work and we come home, and she can earn money that can take us days to earn in minutes.
I found myself driving and just crying, having like a total breakdown, and I found myself having some really quite nasty thoughts.
Rory shares her life with 5 million people, even her lowest moments.
Why am I meant to be on this earth? Like, why does no one like me? Why do I have no friends?
But most days she feels very alone.
Okay, that's an odd name. Being away from people is definitely lonely, you know. I film 4 videos a day. That's a good 3 hours out of my day, and then I've got another 8 hours, and I'm like, what the heck am I going to do for the rest of the day? Like, I can't ring up my friends, like, yeah, I want to hang out, because they're at work. So it definitely gets lonely at times, and, you know, sometimes if you're reading the hate comments and the stress load, it can be so much for your body, and you're just overwhelmed and you're lonely, so that can also creep into depression.
Catherine hasn't had a question. I'm happy to return to you, but let's just keep it civil. Andrew? Catherine.
With people stuck at home during lockdown, desperate for entertainment, TikTok became the world's most downloaded app in 2020. And it's continued to hold that title this year.
TikTok in Australia has seen the same kind of bump in 2020 as elsewhere in the world. In October of 2020, there were an estimated 2.5 million users on TikTok, which was about a 50% growth from earlier on in the year.
Of the popular social media apps, TikTok is the most addictive. Leaked TikTok advertising data shows users spend an average of 1.5 hours on the app each day.
You know, it's like 8 p.m. and I'm watching, and then I look up at my clock and it's 2 a.m. And I'm like, where the heck did those hours go? It's because this For You page is so addictive. It's just so spot on.
TikTok's algorithm is its most valuable asset. It's designed to determine your interests and send you personalised content to keep you on the app for as long as possible.
I went and saw my mama and I went and got my hair done as well.
TikTok works by recommending content to you through your activity on the app. So the more that you scroll through the app, the better the recommendations are tailored to your specific interests. Rather than selecting content that you want to watch, like you would on YouTube or on Netflix, you primarily access content through one main feed, which is called the For You page on TikTok, which is essentially just an endlessly scrolling, algorithmically curated feed of videos that refreshes each time you open the app.
As soon as you sign up to TikTok, the app starts collecting data about you, your location, gender and age, and also your facial data to figure out who you are and what kind of videos you want to see.
Your face is a form of biometric information, and your face can be analyzed to distinguish a range of personality and demographic traits.
TikTok collects your facial data every time you make a video or use a filter on the app, and can even access photos and videos saved on your phone that aren't being used on the platform. To understand how an app like TikTok interprets that data, scientists in Melbourne have developed what's called a biometric mirror.
So biometric mirror, for instance, is trained by way of artificial intelligence to distinguish how intelligent you are, how attractive, how weird, how responsible, and how emotionally unstable you are. The interesting thing there is, of course, that biometric mirror bases its assumptions on a single snapshot of your face. So all of these assumptions are generated based on the exact appearance of your face at that exact microsecond that the photo has been taken. The TikTok algorithm might read your face and think that you are dealing with a significant mental health challenge. You might be presented with videos that are created by users with going through a similar challenge at that time, and it might really create a very colored worldview for you where it's really hard to deal with your mental health challenge at that time.
Lauren Hemmings is studying to be a midwife. She used to spend her uni breaks scrolling through TikTok.
I think it was quarantine boredom that kind of motivated me to download it. It was quite an innocent hope of just getting a good laugh, really, you know, like getting funny videos and seeing what was on it. I never had the intention of making TikToks or sharing them. It was more just kind of from the viewpoint of, the viewer.
Lauren started following a popular fitness influencer on the app.
There's one woman who had like quite a similar body type to me, and she'd expressed that she was unhappy with that body type. And she had started tracking calories over quarantine. She had lost a really, really significant amount of weight.
The algorithm then flooded her feed with content promoting unhealthy weight loss.
I was no longer seeing funny dance videos or anything. It was just like this complete focus on that like fitness and healthy lifestyle goal.
TikTok pushed Lauren toward the popular trend of meticulously tracking how many calories you eat in a day. Something researchers warn promotes disordered eating. The hashtag #WhatIEatInADay has more than 7 billion views on TikTok.
It turned into like this obsession, and I felt that I could not eat anything without knowing how many calories it contained and without meeting, my target number of calories throughout the day. There was a few months where I didn't put anything into my mouth that I had not weighed.
4 months after downloading TikTok, Lauren admitted to her friends and family she had an eating disorder.
I'd like to think that I wouldn't have struggled with an eating disorder if I hadn't downloaded TikTok. I think, TikTok was the main contributor to the development of that.
Young users are increasingly turning to TikTok to find and spread information on how to restrict food and hide their disordered eating from their families.
What they do is they actually share content of what they go through and what they've done for the day in the fascination to become thin. So they would share recipes, they would share diet plans, they would share how you need to be disciplined. For someone who's vulnerable and desperate, they would follow anyone's advice. None of this advice is actually good, because some of this advice is, oh, lick a pumpkin for your lunch, but don't eat. Drink a liter of water and you should be fine.
I was super hesitant to get on TikTok because I'd heard that it was a really bad space for people with eating disorders, because the algorithm knows everything and then it would curate your feed to be interested in that kind of stuff.
Claire Benstead has been in and out of hospital for anorexia for more than 5 years. She decided to download TikTok to find support and to promote her earrings business.
You want that support because it's such an isolating illness, and there's so many people in my life that don't get it and don't understand it.
Claire says the TikTok algorithm identified she had an eating disorder, and she noticed an immediate change to the types of videos on her feed.
So it went from being, my algorithm was, Australian humour and musical theatre humour and all of that kind of stuff, to just being eating disorder content all the time. And as I got sicker and I got more obsessive, all I could do was just flick through my phone and look at this footage. I spent hours on it and just fixated on it. I wasn't recovering at all. I was actively relapsing.
Claire was admitted to hospital. As part of her treatment, her psychologists worked with her to remove the toxic content from her TikTok feed by unfollowing accounts and reporting videos.
How long did it actually take you to get rid of that eating disorder content from your algorithm?
Ages. Pretty much being in hospital, so probably 2 months it took me to change the algorithm.
When you're kind of scrolling through like this...
Even while Claire was showing me her cleaned up TikTok feed, videos about eating disorders began reappearing.
There we go. Here's one right now. Just every 5 or 6 videos. And so I'm in a good spot that this doesn't trigger me.
So even though you're saying not interested, it's still coming up?
It's still coming up.
If you report TikTok videos, the company says its moderators then decide whether to ban them, which in turn is supposed to teach the algorithm to stop featuring them.
I just say that I'm not interested in it.
TikTok's policies say the app bans content promoting, normalising or glorifying eating disorders.
And you can say that it's offensive.
But when users like Claire have reported those videos, they were told they don't breach any guidelines.
You would think that, something this serious, and it's got the highest mortality rate of any mental illness, you would think that that would be something that you could report, because it is promoting those behaviours and it's making it worse.
TikTok also says it bans pro-eating disorder hashtags, so users can't search for those videos. And if they try to, a number for Eating Disorder Support Service, the Butterfly Foundation, automatically pops up. But users find ways around it.
But the issue is now that it's ever evolving. Like, there's a hashtag now that people with eating disorders use, and you would never guess that it was an eating disorder hashtag. Like, it's after a famous singer. They're just changing them to be completely irrelevant from what an eating disorder is. And so it's so hard to escape now, and I think it's really hard for TikTok to keep up with it all.
There are mechanisms in place to screen some of that content, but a lot of it is also reliant on human moderation. And when you consider the amount of videos and the volume that is being uploaded to TikTok, it's a very difficult task to imagine human moderators can catch everything.
Last year, TikTok established a council of outside experts to advise the company about content moderation. David Polgar is one of them.
As we know, with great power comes great responsibility. There's a lot of power in TikTok's algorithm. Therefore, you have to constantly be aware of how it's impacting other individuals and other communities. I think comparatively speaking, TikTok has done a pretty decent job with being more reflective on rabbit holes and how that can affect individuals. But at the same time, you're dealing with human behavior. You're dealing with bad actors. You're dealing with major differences of how people define appropriate versus inappropriate. And we have this tricky kind of balancing act that's constantly happening.
TikTok's business model is built on creating a fun, glossy and glamorous version of the world, and the company's been found to strictly control content that doesn't fit with that image. In March last year, TikTok policy documents were leaked, showing content moderators were instructed to suppress posts by creators considered ugly, poor or disabled. The document said videos including people who are chubby or obese, with ugly facial looks like too many wrinkles or facial deformities and other disabilities should be excluded. TikTok has said it no longer engages in these practices.
I don't want to admit it, but looks have a lot to do with it. And, you know, we're all secretly a bit vain. As much as you don't want to admit it, you go for looks over non-looks, you know. So I think looks definitely have a lot to do with it. And if you look at all the really big-time influencers, they're all beautiful. Like, if you look at all these influencers, they're all stunning, like nothing wrong with them. So I think looks definitely have a lot to do with it.
Much of TikTok's popularity is driven by dance trends choreographed by black creators and then copied by white influencers. But black content makers say that the platform actively discriminates against them.
I think it's high time we let black women on this app also be famous for doing the bare minimum. Like, I should be able to just sit here in silence and let y'all look at me, and the next thing you know, I have 1 million followers.
Petition for black people for the rest of April to stop talking.
There have been instances of black creator-led mass walk-offs from the platform called blackouts, where on a certain day, black creators will stop using the platform or will urge other creators to leave the platform because of TikTok's inaction and failure to respond to or engage with some of the criticisms and the discourse that black creators have raised. So if the company continues to be reactive and responsive rather than proactive and really meaningfully engage, then these issues are going to continue to occur.
Often it makes me quite furious, I guess, because it's like these black creators, they got talent, they're out here dancing and showing what they're capable of. So it's kind of very much disappointing and hard on us when we're out here expected to have all of these in order to get the views, in order to get the likes and shares, but no matter how much we try, we're just not going to get that.
Uniswani is an 18-year-old TikTok creator from Perth.
I like this one, we look and see. I feel like the more I go viral, the more I can basically show the younger generation and show more coloured girls, I guess, or people out there, like, I'm okay with my own skin, I love myself the way I am, I don't care what social media says about me, what people on the other side of the screen says about me, you can be yourself at the end of the day.
Let me quickly address this.
As her following grew, so did the hateful comments. And she decided to confront the issue on the app.
So a majority of you guys still feel the need to comment about my skin colour and about how dark I am and about how black I am. Well, guess what? I'm black and I'm so proud.
Eunice says often her videos are hidden or muted from the TikTok feed, meaning few people see them, a practice known as shadow banning.
Are you pressed? Are you mad? Are you upset? Are you sad?
Sorry, what? I guess you tend to get a lot of shadow bans for speaking up about stuff such as racism stuff. You could mention one word, black, say all of this, and your video could get shadow banned. When you post a video, the video just, it's on the app. It's just you're not going to get any views for it. So you can see it, it's just other people can't see it when they go onto your account as well. So it's up there, it's just, it's not going to get any views.
Last year, TikTok creators noticed the algorithm was suppressing posts with the hashtag Black Lives Matter or George Floyd.
So word on the street is that TikTok has banned the Black Lives Matter hashtag.
One of those creators was Sydney man Paniora Nukunuku, who had created a video using a pool table to explain the Black Lives Matter issue to Australians.
This is a White Australia table, and they pretty much had 200 years head start, and they established everything in the country, so their break looks like this. Bro, can you get home ownership in and business? Beautiful.
That was spicy. That blew up bigger than I thought it would.
I just need to put this here. Wait, what the? Don't worry, it's trauma, injustice, and discrimination, but I said sorry, so it should be fine. Just go for it, bro.
It was the biggest video at the time that I've done.
I think you're just being lazy, eh?
I don't know why. Oh, I do know why. Because it was good. I shouldn't look at the camera, but I'm just really proud of it now.
Using these two cue balls, I'll explain to you.
That resulted in my account getting banned for like 7 days. I don't know why. They claimed that my video breached community guidelines, which is extremely vague because there is no swearing, there is no explicit language, there's no nudity or explicit like sexual stuff, none of that, and my account got banned.
So Black Lives Matter is trending on TikTok, which is ironic considering how much time TikTok spends silencing the voices of black creators.
TikTok apologised for suppressing hashtags referring to Black Lives Matter, blaming a glitch in the algorithm.
Let's take a moment of silence for this man.
The company responded with a new initiative for black creators called the TikTok Black Creator Program. I've spoken to creators who had been approached for that program who felt that it was lip service. It wasn't really a well-meaning effort to engage with black voices and engage with discourse that is important to black communities.
Paniora has more than 180,000 followers on TikTok. He often posts about living with a disability.
So growing up with a fake leg, I always got in trouble every time I parked in my disabled spot.
The first video I did was me going up to a pool and telling my friend to record me dip my fake leg in the water to test the water out. It was a really dumb idea, but for some reason people loved it, and in the space of 8 hours it hit about 780,000 views.
If you have this many followers and that many likes, it's because you're pretty. If you have this many followers and the same amount of likes, you're just funny.
Paniora ran into trouble with the TikTok censors when he posted a video of a confrontation with someone who was telling him he shouldn't have a disability permit.
So this old lady had the nerve to ask me if this is my disability card. This. I wonder if this is enough,
The video was taken down. TikTok said it breached the app's community guidelines. Paniora appealed and it was put back up, but he's had other videos about his disability removed as well.
The video got taken down and I didn't even know it until I looked back at the hashtags and started to see which videos that I've done have like made it to the top, and that wasn't there. I appealed it. I don't know why that was taken down.
Don't ever do that again.
Do I feel like TikTok's being racist? I don't know. Has TikTok been hit up in the past around the moderators being told to limit the exposure of disabled people and ugly people? Yes, they've been called out on that. Is this happening again? I hope not, but it definitely feels like it has.
We know that to decolonize Palestine means also to decolonize...
I'll follow you, keep moving, we'll get some shots.
In May this year, Paniora posted a video from a pro-Palestine rally, but TikTok's algorithm flagged it and it was instantly taken down. Other creators posting TikToks about Palestine have said they've experienced the same thing.
When TikTok started removing my videos about the protest in regards to the Palestine situation, I was furious. I was like, why? There is nothing in these videos that would justify like a removal. There really isn't.
One of the big problems with TikTok and the unique nature of its opaque algorithm is that it's very difficult to understand or to recognize when censorship is taking place.
People came together.
So it is possible for content on the app to be promoted or demoted without anyone knowing.
I'm so sick and tired of every social media platform silencing Palestinian voices.
But we also see evidence of how content moderation that takes place in China, how that type of thinking is still applied to TikTok outside of China.
TikTok is owned by Chinese startup ByteDance, which is believed to be worth more than $250 billion. It's heavily regulated by the Chinese government, and there's a Communist Party internal committee in ByteDance which ensures the party's political goals are pursued alongside the company's.
We have to be extra concerned about how apps like TikTok can be used as a vector for censorship and surveillance.
The Australian Strategic Policy Institute did the first academic investigation into censorship on TikTok, concluding the company actively uses the algorithm to hide political speech it deems controversial. The research was funded by the US State Department and found anti-Russian government videos, as well as hashtags about LGBTQI issues, and the mass detention of Uyghurs were among those being suppressed.
The company has cooperated with public security bureaus all throughout China, and including in Xinjiang. And that means that they they coordinate with government agencies to ensure that the information space in China is pumped full of this propaganda that shows a very rosy picture of what's happening in Xinjiang.
In 2018, then CEO of ByteDance was forced to publicly apologise, saying one of the company's platforms had gone against China's core socialist values.
We have a very clear public statement from the founder of ByteDance that this is something that he's committed to doing and to ensuring that the company continues to push this type of propaganda, certainly inside of China. Whether that is then extended out to the rest of the world via apps like TikTok is another question, and it's something worth watching.
In a statement, TikTok said it does not moderate or remove content based on political sensitivities and has never removed content at the request of the Chinese government. It also said it embraces diversity and denied it discriminates against any creator or community on our platform.
We've known for a better part of a decade, both here in the US and in Australia, about the concerns raised by the prevalence of Chinese telecommunications companies. And so then the next question became, well, what about all these apps that are of companies that are headquartered in China? They're collecting tremendous amounts of user data. They have access to the devices of individuals.
Jamil Jaffer is founder of the National Security Institute in Washington and has advised the US government on cybersecurity.
In China, it's all the central government, the Communist Party. There's no separation between the branches. And so when these apps have all that data, it's much easier for the Chinese government to simply obtain access to that data.
My understanding is that about a quarter of the world's population is a member of TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. So that's obviously an enormous amount of data that's being generated, that's being handed over for free to that single social network that has pretty much full control over what it does to the data. It might analyze it to generate personalized content for you, but it might also use that data to offer technology products and services to other companies moving forward in the future.
It's Avani in Sydney. How's it going?
Hi.
Anne Longfield is England's former Children's Commissioner.
And interview, take one.
She's representing millions of kids on TikTok in the UK and Europe in a class action against the company.
My claim with TikTok at the moment is that they are harvesting huge amounts of data illegally without the consent of children or their parents, and they aren't giving the right level of transparency about what happens to that data or actually what that data includes.
Almost a third of TikTok's Australian users are under 14. Lawyers say TikTok takes personal information like phone numbers, videos, locations, and facial data from kids without their consent, as well as the photos and videos recorded using TikTok but not uploaded or saved to the platform.
Given the level of data and the lack of transparency around there, it's difficult to imagine that this isn't just a kind of information gathering service which is thinly veiled as some kind of enjoyable platform which appeals to young children. So the real incentive here, when you look at it in really cold terms, seems to be to gather as much data as possible to really be able to monetize that.
TikTok's already been fined millions of dollars in the US and South Korea for harvesting children's data. The company restricted app access for children and has taken down millions of underage users' accounts. There's been no legal action in Australia.
I think that governments do have a responsibility to intervene to ensure that children are protected in whatever kind of environment they're in. And you see those protections and measures in terms of the physical environment, in terms of their safety, in the communities they live in the environments they are. But it hasn't always been the case online, and some governments have struggled to see what that means.
If the case is successful, TikTok could have to pay children from the UK and Europe billions in compensation. TikTok is fighting the case. In a statement, the company said privacy and safety are top priorities for TikTok, and we have robust policies, processes, and technologies in place to help protect all users, and our teenage users in particular. We believe the claims lack merit and intend to vigorously defend the action. The US government is reviewing TikTok and hasn't ruled out a ban.
The real question you ask is, what about the national security implications? So, okay, yes, a lot of people are using it, right? But why does that matter? And it matters, I think, because of the access it gives you to this large amount of data. You never think about the Chinese government in Beijing having videos of you in your home, outside your home, at the park with your kids, knowing who your kids play with. I mean, that's what they have now, potentially, with this data set. We've seen now 2 consecutive presidents sign executive orders making clear that they are very concerned about the national security implications of TikTok's data collection, as well as the impact it has on the privacy and civil liberties of Americans.
India has announced a ban on TikTok. And in July last year, Prime Minister Scott Morrison ordered a review by intelligence agencies into the app.
We are always very mindful of those risks, and we are always monitoring them very, very closely. And if we consider there is a need to take further action than we are taking now, then I can tell you we won't be shy about it.
It's certainly a security concern that the data of Australian users is potentially going back to Beijing. TikTok maintained that this is not the case, and our analysis showed that there's certainly not a fire hose of content that's being sent back to Beijing. But that doesn't mean that that content can't be accessed from Beijing if that's required.
How are you going? I'm good, thank you. How are you?
TikTok maintains Australian users' data is held on servers in the US and Singapore, and that it has never provided data to the Chinese government. Staff in the Home Affairs and Defence departments have been told not to have TikTok on their phones because of security risks. But Scott Morrison said there wasn't enough evidence to ban TikTok in Australia.
The scope of the investigation did seem to be quite limited, and that scope is not really enough to be able to tell the rest of Australia and regular Australian citizens whether it's a good idea for them to be using the app. There should definitely be another more rigorous and lengthy review into TikTok to fully understand the risks that TikTok presents.
And so if you just look at TikTok in isolation and say, well, it's just this one app, and it's just kids doing dancing videos, it seems innocuous. But it really takes place in this much larger context of data collection, artificial intelligence, and a real effort by the Chinese to consolidate influence in the region and across the globe.
In just 2 years, TikTok has cemented itself as the app of choice for millions of Australians.
So you guys kept telling me to go on The Voice 2021, so I did.
There are serious concerns that TikTok's fun and beautiful version of reality is distorting the way we see the world. And questions about whether its users understand the risks.
So we're really at risk of having generations of young people that haven't been able to form their own identity in natural ways, and instead have formed identities in response to something that a technology or a technology platform prescribes to be the normal or the new normal.
Last time this lady came up to me and go, "You don't look disabled enough." I don't look disabled enough? I understand that TikTok is trying its very best to make the platform palatable to everyone by just having fun dance videos and lip sync videos. But I know that my content gives value to so many people who look like me, who live the same life like me, who are brown like me.
I ended up cutting off TikTok like after a few months, but even with that, like it still left me with the eating disorder, you know, like TikTok kind of led to the development, and then it has taken a really, really long time to fix that. TikTok isn't out here to help people. I don't think it's come into the world with this intention of helping people. If they're going to make money off of something, then they will make money off of something. I think they maybe need to realise the impact that is having on people.